Let's see what we have here. It is, Gangle and Zooble. Well, Zooble and Gangle. It's those two. So let's start with Zooble. Starting with episode 1, introduced in the theme. They say, "I'm not doing that again," to Jax's quote. Oh, is that where he said, with a new person, they're going to have to redo the theme song? And so Zooble replies, "I'm not doing that again." After Jax had told Pomni that she can't leave, they said, "Shut up, Jax." They were blunt with Pomni. You better get used to your new home and new body. So it's not really telling Pomni, "Yeah, I hate to break this to you, but..." Nope. It was blunt. Arm and hand taken by Jax can move at free will. Oh, yes. So when Jax pulled off Zooble's arm and hand, to scratch his back, the arm and hand moved, at not at the arm and hand's will, but at Zooble's will. Let's see. Doesn't want in-house adventure. So Zooble has always not cared for the in-house adventure, really hasn't cared for any of the adventures. I think Zooble is one of the older humans there. Jack suggests that they have messed with NPCs previously. Oh, that Zooble has messed with the NPCs in previous times, and then tried to avoid the adventure, but the Gloinks got them. The Gloinks took all of Zooble's parts, and then the Gloink Queen ate them, Episode 2 avoided the adventure, was avoiding Kane the entire episode, spoke at Kaufmo's funeral. All right, that was quick. Episode 3, when they hold their breath, their limbs straighten. Response to Jax's 1 minute 20-second quote. So Jax said something in episode 3, 1 minute 20 seconds in, and Zooble responded. Interaction. Doesn't feel like themselves. Doesn't like themselves. As I was saying, if you remember, I've always been in that the circus was originally to help those that could not handle being in the real world. At first I was thinking criminally insane, because I was thinking of Cain and Abel. But what if C and A did not stand for Cain and Abel? And that's a red herring. No, I'm not talking about the fish. Of course, a red herring is a fish. Anyway, so if this was originally a psychological thing, and this is why Cain really wants them to like him, to want to stay with him, why he doesn't want the humans to leave, because he was there to help them, but he himself needs the therapy. And Zooble was one of the older humans that adapted, doesn't care for themselves, doesn't like themselves because, you know, they are product of society in a manner of speaking. They don't feel comfortable in their body because they don't really know who they are. And so, yes, Zooble is they, them, and isn't sure what that means. And so that's all these humans, when they put on the headset, there's some sort of thing where I bet you the abandoned building is sealed off or something, but only those that seem to be targets. I'm wondering if this is a government conspiracy thing where each of them need this help, and so they are allowed access, meaning somehow they're coaxed into it. Who knows? Pomni was exploring an abandoned building. How did she know to go to that specific abandoned building, go to that specific room, and put on that specific headset? What if they all somehow were coaxed into it? Jax was in hiding, and then someone said something which led him to think, oh, there's an abandoned building that I can hide in. Why don't I explore while I'm here? And he puts on the headset. Same with, who was it? Was it Ragatha? That, or was it Gangle? No, I think it was Ragatha, who was also, she was doing real estate, and they let her in because they saw how psychologically damaged she was. And so this government, the CNA company, they're not really bankrupt. They are finding those that need their services and, trick them into going into that abandoned building, finding that specific room, and putting on that headset. Or maybe there's other rooms and headsets that look similar. Let's get back, though. Been trying to find parts they like since the day they got there. Oh, yes. 11 minutes, 10 seconds to 11 minutes, 14 seconds in episode 3. That's where they were doing the forget it. Kane says, forget what? Which I now know. At the time I knew, but it just didn't hit me when I was reading off the notes. Yes, that was a gag. It was a joke. It was a bit. However, I believe that Kane still sees Zooble as a human that he wants to connect with, and sees Zooble as a therapist, in a manner of speaking. Zooble bluntly tells Kane about no one liking his adventures. Zooble is very blunt. Episode 4 had a mask similar to Gangle's in their box. Yeah, so why in all the parts did Zooble have one of those almost like comedy masks that was so similar to Gangle's? I think there might be a reason. It might have been programmed in there after the circus saw that Zooble and Gangle were connecting. Who knows? Tries to back out from another adventure. The spatula hand in pain got burned when attempting to flip a burger. You use spatulas to flip burgers. Just because it's their hand doesn't mean. Oh well. Interaction. Sort out another adventure. Oh, episode 5. Why does it say sort out another adventure? I have no idea. Oh, sat out another adventure. Oh, yeah, episode 5 when they came back from their underwater adventure thing. So it started with Zooble having sat out that adventure. Makes a snarky remark about the sea adventure. Well, maybe they were on that adventure. I don't know. Suggests the suggestion box. Mentions about the suggestion box. Teen zips their non-mouth. That is, when they do the zip your lip and everything, it's a cute little thing. But considering Zooble doesn't have a mouth, calls to vote to skip Jax's hunting suggestion and make him a vegan for the rest of the adventure. New anime high school was Gangle's suggestion. As I said, Zooble and Gangle were close, or they became close through the circus, that is. Interaction. Offers Gangle some food. Shows up to stop Kane's odd intermission. So Zooble is able to, like Jax, break the fourth wall. That makes me believe that Zooble's been there longer. Not longer than Jax, but for quite some time. Who knows? Maybe Zooble got there before Jax, maybe after. I don't know. Let's see, votes no. Oh yeah, with Jax saying something. Now, I was talking about Gangle and Zooble, and their closeness I will discuss another time when it comes to the interaction. See, Bar Noir was their suggestion. Used to be a bartender. Sometimes explored abandoned buildings for fun, never recorded it. Okay, it was Zooble that did that. So they saw that, the company saw that Zooble needed this and tricked them. I'm trying to remember what series it is where people who needed help but would never get the help, they would just wander into a building and all of a sudden they learn a valuable lesson. And I think it was the reboot, or maybe it was the remake of Fantasy Island, where they just need a break and all of a sudden the travel agency shows up. No, that's not it. I really don't remember what series it is. But yeah, this government agency, they take note of those that need. And anyway, let's see. Interaction. Was a tattoo artist for a couple years. Response to Jax, fun isn't the thing I hate. So Jax was saying, why do you hate fun? And no, it's not fun, it's Jax. And they have no problem saying that. Notice Jax's reaction to the corn, which of course now Zooble has a way to torture him. Just ignore him. To Pomni about Jax's odd apology. Yeah, Jax was doing an odd apology, and Zooble said to just ignore him. See, interaction. Places corn near Jax to torment him. When Jax denies, places corn closer to him. Let's see. Whispers to Gangle about a secret vote and votes yes. Oh, I think this was the placing Jax in the maid outfit. Interaction puts corn next to Jax 21:15 minutes in episode 5 while he isn't looking. And that's what makes his reaction even more fun is the fact that he didn't notice the corn was put there for quite some time. Asks Bazooble for their eye back. Hits the softball and knocks out Bazooble. Gets their eye back, obviously. Episode 6, arm falls off in front of Pomni and Jax. Hiding from Kane in a hanging pot. Reason for hiding, heard him talking to Bubble about a possible in-house adventure, which they don't want to be a part of. No, of course they don't. They never do. Won't hide in their room because Kane checks there. He's been checking there lately. And when Zooble doesn't answer Kane, he's from their room, he sings Daisy Bell, and it's creeping Zooble out. Interaction, wants the ability to have sex. That is something that, it stops Kane in his tracks, makes them glitch for a second. Really? At 17 minutes. And the others, all of them know what sex is. These are all young adults. Well, and older. But Zooble's the first one to actually state, I want sex. I haven't had sex for the longest time. Okay, they didn't actually say it that way, but you get the idea. Asks Ragatha for some stupid sauce. Oh, yeah, it's like, hey, you were wasted. Do you still have any of that? That suggests to me that Ragatha kept the sauce after sobering up. Went back and got the sauce. So Ragatha might be addicted. Let's see. Interaction. Oh, the trust exercise. And then Gangle chooses to pair up with them. Remember, Zooble rescued Gangle from Jax using them. And disrupts Jack's force on Gangle, retrieving the happy mask. So when Jack stole Gangle's happy mask, Zooble took it out of his hands and, said, yeah, come with me. That's the interaction. Locks himself in their room to improve the ability of firing more guns. So Zooble had a bunch of guns and attached more arms so they can fire off a bunch of guns. Shoots Jax and Pomni full of holes, possibly more so due to Daisy Bell. Oh, yeah, because they were singing Daisy Bell, so of course this was aggression getting out. It was therapeutic for Zooble. Fourth one in the loser corner. Sees the other three dressed and acting like cats. That's something that I would like to know the story behind. Wins the award for biggest sailor mouth. Yeah, Zooble does seem to swear, although it is censored, meaning it's bleeped out. unlike Bubble, that somehow is able to avoid the bleeping now. Let's see. Oh, obviously used the stupid sauce, meaning asked for the stupid sauce earlier, and then at the awards show, you could see has used that stupid sauce and was not listed for a favorite character award. Yeah, there were 6 names on the favorite character award that Kane was looking at after the credits in episode 6. Zooble was not listed. Therefore, Kane probably had that spot. He still got 0 votes. And it still makes me wonder how Ming, although I do think Ming is deserving of the award, but Ming wasn't even listed there, so I don't know how many votes Ming got. And for episode 7, it's a bunch of interaction. So interactions, plural, interesting. Interaction. And now we get to Gangle. And yeah, it's like episode 8 is, in 2 days. Okay. So episode 8 will tell me if I need to revisit anything that I've said about these characters. Sorry, Kaufmo, I'll have to get to you sometime after episode 8. Because he's the one that I'm missing. And I did say I was going to get to him. Alright, Gangle. Introducing the theme. Gangle's mask gets broken in the domino effect. Where Pomni knocks in and they all go toppling down one after the other. And that's how Gangle's mask got broken. The counting mask. Worries after the Gloinks take Zooble. At this point, now, I believe it was sometime in the previous adventures, just before Pomni, that Zooble and Gangle really connected. Let's see. Episode 2, mask gets broken when NPC is excited to see the princess at the beginning of the adventure. Yes. So, Gangle's mask, for some reason, gets tossed on the ground, and maybe Gangle got knocked over and the mask fell off. And just before she could get her mask, an NPC was stomping on it. Hey, look, it's a princess! This violates some kind of convention. Let's see, to Jax's shoot 'em up idea. Oh, yeah, the Geneva Convention, yeah. Doesn't that violate some kind of convention? Or I think that violates some kind of convention. I don't remember the exact quote. Becomes submissive and agreeable after Jax says something to her. Nervous laugh about Jax's blackmail and does what Jax wants. So when Jax brings up the figures, I'll tell Zooble about your figures. Or about the figures, about the figurine collection. I don't remember what he said. It's probably in my notes somewhere. But yeah. She does not want Zooble to find out, was laughing nervously. Anyway, spoke at Kaufmo's funeral. Episode 3, when she holds her breath, her mask spins. Episode 4. Okay, done with episode 3. Episode 4, shift manager was a job at one point. So she was a shift manager at one point in the real world when she was human. The plastic mask makes Gangle happy, question mark. Oh, and happy's in quotes, yes. That's because are they happy or are they a bit deranged happy type? Hard to explain. But that's what Gangle was doing in the circus. Through everything we've seen, Gangle being bipolar makes sense. Gangle being unhappy with her life and wanting to be happy, but had more depressive moments than ecstatic moments. Anyway, immediately settles into the mantra role. When Jax doesn't want to behave, she calls Kane to find a punishment for him. Let's see, 5 minutes, 8 seconds in episode 4. There's a quote. All right. Yeah. Trying to be nice about Pomni with Gummy Goo during work shift. She's upset, but tries to hide it behind a smile, which I think was something that they've been doing even when they were shift manager. That's probably when they were given the idea to check out this abandoned building, go to this room, put on a headset. When they were sort of sent to that area, they thought, no, I'm still thinking in terms of Zooble. She thought that it was her idea and she didn't know. Let's see. How dare Pomni question and not respect authority? Respect my authority, as Cartman from South Park had said. Almost snapping at Jax, and then sends him to be retrained. All right, episode 4, 11 minutes, 47 seconds to 12 minutes, 2 seconds. I have no idea. Oh, okay, that's part of the training video interaction. I wonder if that's are you happy or are you smiling? And Jack says, no. Why aren't you smiling? Or, whatever that thing is. Let's see. I put in a question here. Is the 12 minutes, 25 seconds to 12 minutes, 31 seconds in episode 4 a brainwashing thing? Upset that Ragatha didn't wait for the designated break before doing drugs, before engaging in stupid sauce. She thought that Ragatha chose to do that, not that it got into her eye. Let's see. Interaction. Almost snaps at, you're annoying. When Ragatha was, on Stupid Sauce, commented that Gangle is annoying with her comedy mask. And she almost snapped at that. Let's see. Oh, is it broken? Or are we the broken ones? That quote is because Gangle wants to be happy, puts on a happy face, but it's really sad most of the time. I guess that goes against the bipolar thing. Maybe she has depression, but the idea of um, yeah, it might be more of a depression than a bipolar. Anyway, interaction. Gangle removes the plastic mask out back to scream under her breath. Oh, yeah, because she knew she had this built up emotion and needed to do something. Went out back, took off the plastic mask so that they're able to, so that she's able to scream. Interaction. 16 minutes, 28 seconds in episode 4. There's a quote. And then doesn't look happy during quitting time. Interaction. Feels defeated and stares into the darkness. So this isn't the contentment that abstraction occurs in. This one is actually feels, like everything's wrong and I'm ready to give up on life. See, interaction. Clocks out and leaves unsuredly, meaning she doesn't really want to do this. She thinks this will look bad on her, but is still willing to do this. Looks up at the starry sky, removes and chucks that plastic mask, runs through parking lot towards the street. Towards the street happily, turns around, ends up falling backwards and gets hit by a truck. Interaction. Takes responsibility because she was the manager. Anything that happened on her watch, she is responsible for. And then interaction. Episode 5, mask breaks just listening to King's adventure ideas. This time it broke on its own. Votes yes. Jax made her a New Zealander extremist, but she doesn't know what New Zealanders threaten with. Suggested Anime High School. Nervous. Startled. Was startled and is nervous that Zooble knew it was her suggestion. As I said, Gangle really likes Zooble. And, is embarrassed that Zooble knew it was her suggestion, but, is fine that it was Zooble and not some other person. She feels comfortable with Zooble. Let's see. Was drawing, interaction, turns audience camera when Jack starts to talk about. Oh, yeah. So Jax is talking about what she did with anime figures. He was saying that, breaking the fourth wall. And Gangle knew to, how to grab the camera and turn it. So, yeah. Even Gangle can do the fourth wall breaking. Votes no. Interaction. Worked in fast food. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Took graphic design in community college. dropped out because she really and didn't really pursue art much after that. Doesn't have an evil counterpart for the evil big tops. Instead, evil orbsmen took that spot. And that's actually a note where I was going to talk a little more about how Gangle doesn't have an evil counterpart. Because, yes, it was funny having Jax with I'm all about sunshine and rainbows being his evil side. But I think the reason Gangle didn't have an evil counterpart is because she is her own evil counterpart. When she's happy, she's happy. When she's sad, she's sad. This goes with the bipolar, but as I said, the bipolar is iffy in my mind. Let's see. Calls vote that Zooble whispered. Oh yeah, to put Jax into the maid uniform. Vote was to put Jax into a maid uniform. Yes. Laughs at Jax in the maid uniform. Ends up hitting a home run off screen, so we don't actually see that. And acknowledges Ragatha's instructions helped. Oh, yeah, I guess Ragatha helped her learn softball. Episode 6. Chooses to pair up with Zooble instead of Jax. Interaction. Wants to fire a Tommy gun while laughing maniacally. And, this is a therapeutic. Oh, this is something I really want to do, and this will help me. Really wants that Tommy gun. Worried that Jax will be mad she didn't pair up with him. Interaction. Worried Jax will seek painful revenge on her. Yes, the entire time, because Jax had bullied Gangle, was so fearful of his retribution that she couldn't really enjoy herself. And was fine, being with Zooble. Yes, that calmed her down a lot. Eased her nerves, her anxiety, but still worried. Finds the Tommy gun. Says Zooble, it's time. Let's see. Chases Jax and Pomni, firing the Tommy gun while laughing maniacally. That's what you want to do. Of course, then she gets shoot, I think, between the eyes type of thing, or in the forehead. Right between the eyes. Even though her comedy mask broke after she got shot, it splits and falls off. And this is a tragedy mask, but still shows the smile. She's still happy. She was the third one in the loser corner. Dressed and acting like a cat in the loser corner. She got 3 votes. Episode 7, Gangle was looking for Zooble. They always hang out, so makes sense. Interaction. Asks Kane what to do instead. Kane said, "Why don't you ask me what to do instead?" And sure enough, she fell for that. Interaction. And, hey, this is less than an hour. Only 40 minutes. Well, soon to be 40 minutes. Like, comment, share, subscribe, notifications. End of video, 39 minutes, 30 seconds. End of video.